No, I don't have my phone. Oh. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Okay. Stream is working. Hopefully some people come in and hang out. Decided to hop on a little early. We're doing some cleanup work from post race. Unfortunately, it was 2 weeks ago, and I forgot to balance these batteries. So we're gonna do that real fast. That battery's getting close to being done. So we're gonna do 3 cars real quick, and that'll get us till probably about noon. And then we will start working on the monster truck, which is just out of sight right here. You can actually see just the tip of the tank, or the tip of the body, the tail of the body, I should say. My workbench is a mess, but that's nothing new. I wanted to try a little bit of a different angle for you guys this week. Get you a little closer to the action. Maybe the lighting's a little better. Hopefully things are a little clearer for you. We're just trying things, basically. Normally you would have been above my monitor, which is like up here, and you'd be looking straight down. But I wanted to go from the side angle because I plan to do some work on the servo. The goal today is to finish the monster truck, at least getting it to function. So pairing it to the radio, hooking up the steering servo savers. We may dabble into the axle limiters straps that I have. I don't like the color, but it came with the truck when I bought the truck, so I can't argue. Yeah, so that's kind of the goal is kind of get the truck 90% done. I don't plan on finishing the decaling on it yet, unless the time permits, but I don't suspect that I will get that far today. So, on a side note, you're getting first glimpse of 2 new cars that's going up that are actually for sale now. We got the sprint car and we got a midget. And these are associated based conversion kits that I am selling. So these are prototypes, but what you're going to get will be extremely similar to this. They will actually be this one's actually almost identical to what you would get when you would buy the kit. So if you're curious, so what we're running with our midgets in my area is we're running a Hobbywing Just Stock 21.5 motor. Can't see it because my hand does not want to work today. So 21.5 just stock ESC combo. They mark them so that way you can't take them apart. Open battery roll. So I'm running a 4,000 milliamp high voltage Gens Ace Redline. I got away from my Trinity packs, decided to try something different, and so far I've been enjoying these Gen Aces. So same thing with the Sprint car. The Sprint car, I can't pick it up because it's connected to the charging lead, but it is on a 13.5 X Factor RevTech motor, Hobbywing XR10 Pro, which I need to sell this one because this is an older version, and I need to get one with a remote power wire. So I need to upgrade and get the Gen 2. I have some other electronics I'm probably going to sell. I got a bunch of ESCs that I need to unload, basically to kind of fund this project. So I'll probably put up probably three or four different ESCs and try to get them sold and upgrade this guy to this. I've been really enjoying the Hobbywing ESCs lately. Reverse polarity is a big, huge one. I've accidentally fried 2 speed controllers racing over the years by getting in a hurry and hooking them up backwards. And as soon as you touch them, it's instant white smoke. Both of them were Hobbywings, but they were older versions that do not have the reverse polarity technology on them. So, and I've even done it with the newer version on an accident. Got in a hurry, plugged it in, and it started like it. You hear it a little pop. So I thought it did something to the SE, but it did not. So I'm now a huge believer in the especially the Gen version 3 or whatever the new version is of the Hobbywing just stock ESCs. They are fantastic. I like the Wi-Fi module, simple, easy to hook up. You don't have to carry a bunch of wires, and the control boxes are quicker. There's no doubt about that. You don't have to pair it to your phone and everything else. I like the simplicity factor of just one little tiny device module you carry it around with you in your phone, and I think that's what most pros are still doing is they're using the modules, not the programming cards. I know my teammate loves his programming card just because it's quick, simple, and easy, and it works. You don't have to worry about waiting for your phone to take an update for the Hobbywing app or trying to force firmware updates on your ESC. He had an issue with one where every time he'd plug in his wireless adapter into it, it would reset. I don't know what the deal with that one was, but yeah, it is what it is. So, is that one done? I don't know. I can't read it because it's hidden. Yes. Sprint car's done. So let's move that guy up over out of the way. This guy in. This one will not take that long. The sprint car, last time I raced it, I was in the B main and was not very happy with the car's performance, and I think I wrecked like a minute in and I pulled it off the track. I was done with it. It was a rough day. And that was a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. So, yeah, it was 2 weekends ago. Because last weekend I went out of town. So that's down to 8 volts already. That should not take too long to discharge. Storage. Nope. Storage mode. Yes. Always take care of your batteries, guys. Always take care of your batteries. It's probably the biggest scare that most people have racing cars is lipo fires. You got to take them serious. So many people are on the polar opposite ends. Either they want to charge one and discharge one as fast as they can, and they don't care about the risk that comes with it. And then you got the people that are so safe that they pull the car batteries out of the cars and they put them in lipo charging bags. And I understand both sides of it. I get it. If you're in a hurry and you're really pushing the limits and you're trying to get every last 10%, whatever. Sure, go do what you want to do and charge it 80 amps and discharge it 100, whatever. I'm throwing those numbers out there. Nobody actually does that, but my point is there's a lot of people that will try to charge and discharge it like 40 amps, for example. I'm not that guy. You may see a little performance out of that, but that 0.5% or 1%, whatever that you're going to get out of overcharging and discharging, in my opinion, does not justify the risk of safety of burning up your stuff, because this car is not cheap. Like, to build like a sprint car, you're talking like $1,000. So the last thing you want to do is have a lipo fire in $1,000 car, and then you could also burn your entire house down because of a lipo fire. Like, it's a serious thing. And then I know you go to some sanctioned racing events, they force you to charge in lipo sacks. I'm not going to tell you one way or another, but do some research and make your own opinion on what you want to do. My professional opinion is lipo sacks are a waste of time and money. They truly don't stop fires. If it's going to blow up, it's still going to blow up. Like the issue that I know that happened over here near me, somebody was charging a car, I think it was a 1S on a X5, which is the single small iCharger, which, by the way, I probably have one of those for sale because I have really no use for it. I got a bunch of random stuff I need to sell. If it blows up in a bag, it's still going to catch stuff on fire that's around it. It's just going to contain the fire inside. Some, keyword is some. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Just some random topic to talk about while we're balancing out some packs and getting ready to start work on the monster truck. Technically speaking, this stream's not supposed to start till noon, so I started a few minutes early. And I've got a bunch of alternative stuff to talk about if this does not work. Like if the monster truck, I just get to a point when we just bust it out in 30 minutes. Like, I've got my motor analyzer out. I had some issues with some motors. Me and my teammate was talking about KVs and comparing some motors, and he's got a different analyzer than I do. But at the end of the day, they give you relatively the same information. I would say plus or minus a couple percent, which is honestly pretty standard when it comes to standard deviations of the physical products. Just because you may have one that's slightly better than another, it is what it is. Midgets. I'm still absolutely in love with this midget class. I'll set this here for you guys to look at. Probably the biggest skilled racing set. It requires you to have a lot more patience because it's open wheel, like a sprint car, but they're not as fast as a sprint car, but they have a shorter wheelbase than a sprint car, and the shorter wheelbase makes the car a lot more reactive. I don't want to call it twitchy, but it drives more like a true dirt car does than every other class that you race. And I have so much fun racing the midgets than I probably do any other class. The competition is through the roof with them, which is good. They did you had to buy a box ESC and motor combo from the track directly because they're limiting. They're sealing them up, making sure you're not tearing them apart and all that fun stuff. Whatever, that's fine. So technically, everybody's on the same playing field. If they truly stuck to those rules, but they didn't. But whatever. But it's a spec tire class. They're giving you the options to run Hoosiers, which is what I have on it currently, or DE tires. They scale-wise fit the midgets very well. You're not relying on a ton of tire comparably speaking to like a sprint car, for example, yes, I understand that they're technically the same, but power to weight ratio on a sprint car with these tires is, I don't want to say hard, but it's definitely hard. Like my sprint car is hard on tires. And that's one thing I don't like about sprint cars is your tire game needs to be flat out on point for that car to really really rip around a track. Not saying mine's not, but I've been experimenting this year with trying to get my car to do a little bit more freer around the tracks, which is nice. But also, I don't want to give up too much speed, and I feel like I'm bouncing all over the place with that car. This car, on the other hand, it enjoys being free, but not too free. So I could throw it into a corner and the tail tank will start to come around just ever so slightly, and then the car will just settle and hook and just shoot straight off a corner. And it'll do it consistently. You could like just throw it in a corner and it'll rotate just enough to get the car to come around a little bit, and then it'll settle in and just dart. It's so amazing. And because it's a 21.5 car, you're forced to keep the motor wound up. You're forced to carry more corner speed. So you can't make the car, you can't use the power of the motor to get you through the corner. It forces you to have your car set up the correct way to get you through and continue to carry all the speed and everything else, which that's what I love about the midgets is, I mean, after like a 5 minute main, I think two or three of us are still in the same lap. Like you don't have that very often, especially when you have six of these in a bull ring car or a bull ring track, just having some fun. So um, I'm excited for the midgets. They are probably that, and then the bomber. That'd be my next favorite class. I've been on the struggle bus with the bombers this year. Um, a lot of that has to do with it's a new car, it's a new learning curve. Tried some things the car just was not happy about, so I went back to some old notes and some setups, and my teammate got me kind of dialed in with that, and now I was able to get back into at least being competitive. Um, I try to have fun while I'm at the track racing. Too many people take the stuff way too serious. Too many people accuse people of doing things that they don't do. And at the end of the day, they're toy cars, guys. Just take a chill pill, especially on a freaking club day race. It is what it is. Like, don't get so tied up in the fact that I accidentally bumped you or you accidentally bumped me or I spun you out, you spun me out. It is what it is. Just have some respect. Don't assume anything because that's what drives me absolutely nuts is accusing me of doing something that I didn't do, and yet you want to argue with me that I did it when I'm telling you what the truth actually was and you don't want to believe me. So, whatever. Uh-oh, my charger's falling. So, midget's done. Let me get this guy up and out of the way. That goes up here. Okay. Grab the bomber. Bomber's going to have a bunch of updates coming on it soon. Got a new body in the works that my teammate has been designing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the Mr. Customs body. My biggest complaint is reliability, like durability. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a crack right here. Oh, y'all just fell. Let's try this again. I have to work on this, make a new mount. But Mr. Custom Works bodies, they have some weak points to them. So, for example, this is a fully decked body, and this A pillar or B pill or whatever you want to call it. It's got a really nasty crack. I'm not the only one that has this problem. There's 4 or 5 of us that run this body. This particular body only has, I don't know, 5, 6 races on it, and it's showing some pretty bad wear signs. Where my shark body, the only thing on the shark body, and this thing has been abused for 2 years, is these back corners are breaking. Both sides. So they've got the old shoe goo fiberglass tape trick, and that's to prevent them from cracking anymore. So I'm probably going to go back to something similar to this. Also, weight wise, this body is a lot heavier than this body, the shark bodies. So something else to consider when you're looking at what you're looking for your race bodies and everything else. This is the only car that I still have a Trinity battery in it currently. I have a battery for this car. I've just not swapped it out yet. This is one of the only few Trinity batteries that I had that really had no signs of giving me any issues. So I just decided to keep it and run it until it starts flaking out on me. Exit. Oh, come on. I know. LiPo. Storage. This one's at 7.95 already. Voltage. So this will not take that long. I guarantee just a couple minutes that thing will be fully balanced and ready to go. So what we're going to do with the monster truck, let's go and talk about this guy real fast, because that's what today's stream is about. We have a hot racing, again, not happy about the color, but didn't have any options. We're going with the Hobby Racing aluminum servo saver for the LMT. There's a reason why I went with the hot racing version. Okay, come on. Will it load? There we go. It focused. Is because there's a screw on that top nut, which is right there. That screw, if you buy one of the other versions that does not have that set screw in it, these are notorious for backing out on the LMTs. This is the only one that has a set screw, which will prevent it from accidentally backing out, which is the reason why I'm running the hot racing versions. I mean, it does also match the blue hot racing straps. So I have 110 millimeters and 110. I thought I had 2 different lengths, but I guess they're both the same. So they're both 110 millimeters for the front and the rear. And then I bought a set of LED light strips that are green. They're going inside the body as well, because of course I got to have some bling bling on a monster truck, because it's a monster truck. Why would you not? The last piece of electronics that was missing, and I'm gonna have to move you guys. I apologize because I didn't think this through, but somewhere in here. Yeah, there's the programming card I was talking about that people use to program their ESCs. There we go. I knew I had one. I had to find my radio. Okay, stay. So got to find a receiver for my Sandwall radio. So that's today's goal, is to program. Focus. There we go. So my goal is to get basically 100% complete, ready to go. Got all my wrenches and stuff out. I'll probably only need about 2 of them. And honestly, I could probably put half them back. Actually, I will while we're waiting. I'll keep the 2.5, 1, 2. I don't think I'll need a 0.5. Won't need another 2. I'll keep the 3 out just in case. I'll put these 2 guys up. And 1.5 I'll keep out for now. Yep. Bought most of this on eBay or Amazon. I don't remember. I think these came from Amazon. They're just simple LED lights. So connects to your receiver. Runs off of your 6-volt BEC. They're not going to be crazy bright because they're only 6-volt instead of like your 12-volt or whatever that you're used to using. So you can cut these down to length if you want to cut them down, do whatever you want with them. So that's the lights. Comes with some instructions on how to use them, but honestly, it's pretty self-explanatory. Plug them in and connect them. It's got some warnings. What do you do if your LEDs don't light up? Please contact our customer service and we'll resend you a new set. All the lights dimmable. Please contact our customers. Oh, if they're dim, okay. And it says that they are adjustable up to 7.5 volts. So if you do have a adjustable BEC radio that's going to give you a little bit more voltage, you can run a higher voltage through your BEC if you wanted. I'm not. I don't have that much fancy stuff in the truck. I don't plan to run anything that fancy in the truck. And let's go ahead and open up the servo saver. Looking for my scissors or my, I think I have yeah, I do. Looking for a knife. Thing needs a new blade. Come out, screw. Oh, they sealed the screw in by itself in the corner. Wow. Such a weird packaging job. So that's those. And then let's go ahead and open up the shock limiter straps or axle limiting straps, however you want to look at that. And from what I understand, and the reason why you want to run limiting straps is because they are notorious for, and I guess it's a common issue with monster trucks in general, when you have full droop and you jump like off of a ramp or something like that and you have all the weight from the tires coming down, it will pull the spring cups off the bottom of the shock and damage the spring cups if you don't run straps. So that's the purpose of running straps on your monster truck. So that's all of that. This battery is almost finished. Balancing out. Yeah, it's down to negative 2 volts right now. So it's, or 2 amps, I should say. It's about ready to go. So, let me go grab a quick bottle of water real fast. I'll be right back. I didn't have to go far. Literally, it's just 10 steps away. I just have to dodge a bunch of stuff in my garage. Okay. I also think some of you have asked, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about it in a video before, but I run a foam bumper on the front. Most people don't like running weight way off the front end of their car. This is so minimal for weight. I want to say it's like 10 grams, 7 to 10. It's light. But the reason why I run them is it's to protect the nose of the body. So when you hit a car that's parked sideways in an oval track, you can hit them and your body's not going to fold up underneath your car. And you do that so many times, you're going to start cracking the body usually around the top of your wheels, like your tires, because that's the weak point. So it starts folding and buckling that nose down, and it'll do that so many times, and eventually your body's just destroyed. And it don't take long to destroy a body in oval racing, especially if you don't have some form of bumper on the front for that body to hit. So when you hit your body hits and then hits the bumper, and it keeps it from folding up underneath it. That's the reason why I run a foam bumper. Some people think that bumpers are used to be aggressive driving, and you can use the foam bumper to bump people, and I some people may do that. I don't know. I don't do it for that reason. I do it to protect the body because bodies are not cheap. Let me put the body back on. Bodies are not cheap, and by the time you take your investment of buying a body, let's say it's $60, $70, somewhere around there, because you got to pay for shipping and everything else. The body's probably 45 or 50, but then you're paying an extra 12 to 15 bucks to ship it, or 20 or something like that. And then you've got $10 to $20 in paint supplies, plus your decals that you got on it, and then not to mention the 2 or 3 hours it took you to paint a body. However long you guys paint, I don't know. Some of you like painting one color just because it's quick and easy and simple. I get it. I understand. But again, you're still going to waste time by painting the body. So a can of spray paint, I'm assuming if you go and buy like just one medium can, it's like $11. So you got $10 in paint plus the body plus your time. The last thing you want to do is destroy it on your first race out because somebody parked sideways in front of you going down a back stretch or a front stretch and you didn't see them. So time to start working on the old monster truck. Oh, I guess I could have left the body on. Yeah, I probably will. So I've done some work to this since the last time you've seen it. It is officially fully mounted to the rig. Give you guys a walk around. So it's got some decals on it already. It's got the Ford Raptor stuff, Ford Raptor rear logo, rear tail lights, front grille. Like, it's fully mounted and she's ready to go. I still got to do custom decals and stuff. I'm going to put my logo on the top. I'm going to put a breast cancer logo back here in the back somewhere pretty big. Got some things I want to get done to it still visually, but it's not going to affect, obviously, the performance. Okay. Bear with me, because this does not like playing well today. There we go. Guess that'll work for now. Let's go ahead and pull the clips. Oh, really? Now what is it stuck on? Nothing. Didn't think so. First things first, we're going to start working on the steering servo. Hey Dave. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the body. It came out pretty sweet. So I'm super 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 stoked about that. So steering servo linkage is gonna have to go facing down. Probably should. Let's go ahead and hook the electronics first. And the reason why I want to do that is I need to find the center of the servo, so then I can hook this straight down onto the servo, and then get this lined up directly to that. So we'll start with just going with electronics first. And I'm not going to make it look pretty. I'm just going to make this real rough. Let me grab my radio. I don't remember which radio this came out of. I think this came out of my stadium truck. So steering servo should go up through here. There, the steering servo will be channel 1, and the ESC will be channel 2. You know what? For shits and giggles, let's go and hook up the LEDs. Let's make that channel 4. And then let's hook up battery, positive, negative, custom. I think that was my stadium truck. Where is my stadium truck? Do I not have? I haven't drove the stadium truck in a long time, so clearly I don't have it on this model. Interesting. What do I have? Let's swap this out for drag car, because the drag car doesn't exist anymore. So that's that. Let's go ahead, power this guy on. Hopefully don't jump off the table. Hey, the LEDs are working. So we got power. Let's turn this guy back off. Hit the bind button. So now it's going to be blinking blue. That is in bind mode. So now I need to go on my radio. Set up. System. Bind. Bind. Did that stop binding? Yep, it did. Figured it would. So let's do this again. Power off. Hit and hold the bind button. Power on. Blue light's flashing. Well, it was flashing. Did it save it? No. Let's do that again. Well, wait a minute. It's solid now. Yeah. It's bound. Okay. So now we have it bound to the radio on that channel. I can't. This is an old Sanwa 12RS or 12S or something. I don't remember the exact model. Had it for a while. I've got so many different modes and stuff on it. So you probably can't see this, and it's going to be hard for me to do this and you guys see at the same time. Let me see if I can't move this around so you can see. Maybe. Try and get this to sit somewhere, like where my face is. Okay, like I want you to sit like right here. Okay, maybe not. Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. I'll hold this up top. So now that I bound the radio, I want to basically factory reset this mode. So as you see, I've got a midget, a bomber, my oval car, a sportsman, VTA. I don't remember what a C4 is. Mud Boss, sprint car, my USGT car. So that's all the cars I have bound, and every one of these has a receiver in them. So I can just change modes from one to the other. So currently we're in drag car because that's what I believe this was. So let's go ahead. You know what? Let's clear this out. So now let's go ahead. It's still there. Let's make sure it's still bound. It should be. And the reason why I think it's still bound is because the red light is not on here telling me it's not communicating. So if I look, uh-oh, did I lose it? I probably did when I cleared it. Off, on. I did. Okay, I'm fine with that. So what I did was cleared out the old mode, and I wanted to clear all of the parameters from being a drag car. So drag brakes, steering biases. I wanted to basically start 100% over. So that's why we started with deleting channel 3 first. So now let's go back. I want to change the name. So in this case, so that's monster truck. So now if I zoom out and try to change modes, oh, nope, wrong mode. I need to be in custom. So now if I wanted to change modes, nope. So now it's saved as monster truck. So now I know I'm in the correct mode. So now I need to go back to binding mode and rebind, which I believe is under system. Bind. Enter. So now it's flashing across the bottom. That tells me it's in bind mode. I'm going to set you back down. Power off. Hit and hold the mine mode. Up, you fell. Hit and hold the mine mode. Power on the radio. Or power on the car. Blinking. And it should be. So now we're bound. So now we have the radio bound. Back to the radio. We've named the channel. So now I want to check my servo throws, make sure the endpoints and everything is set to a default level. So I don't want to make sure that it's not steering, like basically it's trim. I'm looking for the trim to make sure the trim's not set on some crazy numbers. So you can do that in a couple different ways. You can do manual trim, or you can do sub trim, and I'm looking for sub trim. So center, that's fine. Back. So it's not in this menu. I believe it's in custom. So custom. So there's my endpoints. They're currently set to 100% left, right, throttle for forward and reverse. That's where I want to be for now. Those will change once we finish our sub trim and everything else up. So left, right, sub trim is 0. So that's perfect. So that's what I wanted, is I could manually sub, and what sub trim is I can manually, so let's say when you mount this on here, and if it's like 30 degrees off center, so let's say it's like this. Let me move it so you can see it. So like that. I can take the sub trim and trim this servo so it's facing straight down with the sub trim, and then I can use the other trim to manually fine tune the left and the right to it. I hope that makes sense. That's the difference from trim and sub trim. A lot of people don't realize that a sub trim is an actual option. Focus. So now that I have the steering servo centered according to the electronics and everything else about it, turning this off, turning this off, now we can start focusing on installing this. Let me get this apart. Oops, that's 1.5. So what I'm working on currently is just taking off the stud from the servo saver. This way there's no pressure on anything, and I'm not fighting this when I go to install this on here. Okay. Did I not buy the right one? Oh, seriously? Did I not buy the right one? Or is this just boogered up? Oh, I should have been a 23. Maybe it's not. I'm not going to be a happy camper if I bought the wrong part. That'd be my luck. I think I threw away. No, I didn't. So I thought I threw away the box. Let's try this again. Yeah, like that does not want to fit. Oh, it's a 25 tooth. Son of a biscuit. I bought the wrong one. It is a 25 tooth. Well, okay, well, we're going to send it for now, I guess. Because I bought a 23 tooth, not a 25 tooth. Why did I buy a 23? I'm confused. Did I really buy the wrong part? Survey says, yep, I bought a 23 tooth. I need a 25 tooth. Oh, son of a biscuit. Alrighty then. Let's put this guy back together. And that was an error on my end, so this will go up for sale for somebody. If they are interested in it, let me know. Because I'm a goofball. I assumed it was a 20. I know what it is. I assume. Wait a minute. What's on here? I'm confused now. Can't see it. Oh well. I'm not going to stop. We're just going to put a solid servo arm on here for the time being. So that's that. Let me put the set screw back in it. Packaging is still here. Put this guy back together. Keep that separate for the time being. Now I gotta find a screw. That looks good enough. This is all temporary, so don't hold me to the wolves. Like that's supposed to have a set screw on it too, and I don't see it. What in the world is going on? Okay, we're just gonna dump these out because I'm getting frustrated looking for little parts. This is why I don't do bags. It's a lot easier just leaving it out to sea. So, okay. We need to remove that guy. You fell again. I'm not even touching you. Why? Why? Stay. Stay. Okay, let's put you in the corner. Stay. Stay. Don't move. Dave, stop hitting the wire because I know it's you. Okay, that's that. So that's the stock steering servo saver out of the way. This looks like this would be the right retaining screw for this. I usually don't run servos unless they have some form of retaining screw on them. I've done enough racing in my life to know that 99% of the time, these are the parts that usually breaks first before anything else does. So I would typically put blue thread locker on this as well. I'm not doing that. Oh, that's a 1.5 millimeter screw head. Oh no. Whatever. Don't run with it. Keep in mind, this is just temporary. This is just to get the car functioning. I will be replacing that with the correct servo saver. They make a kit out there. I almost bought it. And what it is this linkage here is basically a shock absorber with a spring. And you can get away with running a hard mount like this with this setup. This comes down to preference. You can go with the steering servo saver and like what I bought and keep the stock parts, or you can go with replacing this with the stock with an aftermarket servo saver. The key to this is you're just trying to prevent from stripping and breaking the gears in your steering servo. You need something to be the weakest link. And that's the problem with anything aftermarket. So these trucks are really bad for people buying aftermarket axles. People think that you have to run aftermarket axles, assemblies. So then they replace these, and then they break a hub. So then they replace the hub, and then they break this shaft here. They replace this with the aluminum shaft, then they start breaking this. They replace this with an aluminum shaft, then they start breaking this. And then they replace the steering pitman arm or drag like linkage arm, whatever you want to call your servo saver arm of whatever choice. Then next thing to go is your steering servo. So common sense. This is engineered this way for a reason. These parts are supposed to be your breaking point, and don't put aluminum here unless you want to and you enjoy just wasting your money and continuing to keep breaking things. Sure, go for it. But nobody wants to do that. So now I want to do a functionality test. Radio back on, truck's back on. And so notice that full steered to the left. And that's because when I screwed in this, it moved. So let's back this back off. It did what I was trying to not happen. Good thing about all this is this is in a bad bind. Oh, bad. There we go. So turn the radio back on. No, I don't want it to go that way. I want it to go down. There. Radio back on. Radio still on. Reset this guy back to center. So that's center. I'm going to leave it on this time. So what happened is when I screwed this screw in, it turned the shaft before the arm made it to the actual splines. So now my steering, I need to turn this that way to get to that screw. So now if I turn this left, it's steering right. And if I turn this right, it's steering left. So my settings in my radio are backwards. So now we have to fix that problem. So let me bring it back over here. So going to go to system. I think it's system. Bear with me. Trim, steering. Oh, not the one I'm looking for. Back. Setup. Steering is reversed. So that will fix now my steering left. So if you're looking over the truck and I turn left, it now goes left and goes right. So now the next thing you want to check is your endpoints. So you could throw this down and do sub trim first. I can tell you by looking at this, I'm close enough that I can fix this with the radio settings later. So I'm not. I don't have anywhere in my garage that I can throw this down. It's snowing outside. Okay, let me try doing this on the workbench. This is going to be a disaster because this workbench is not big. It's a cluster of a nightmare of problems with me not being organized. It's more of a me issue than it is anything else. I know that. Okay. So all I'm doing is just looking to make sure that this thing goes straight. So I'm going to align this up so it's on the edge of this board. Oh, throttle's reversed too. Go figure. Well, there's two ways to fix this. I could change the endpoints in the ESC, or I could change the throttle back. Let's recalibrate the ESC. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves. Screw it. Let's just fix the steering first. No, I don't have reverse. Okay, I have to. Maybe this ESC don't have reverse. I don't remember. So there's a way to do this with Hobbywing ESCs. It's all done with using the light indicator, which, where is the light? Hold on. Let me move you around. Turn you off. I'm trying to spin this truck around because I don't remember where the light is on this ESC. It's been a hot minute. Okay. So the light's on the back or on the side. Well, that's technically the back. So most of these you're going to turn off. You're going to hit and hold the program button, which is the little red button. Okay, I can't do all of this one-handed. This is about impossible. Hit and hold the button. Oh, missed it. And turn on the switch. Okay, just bear with me. Power. Oh, good grief. There we go. So now it's beeping. That tells you it's in programming mode. So step one is to leave it in neutral. Hit it. It beeped. Now it flashed. So give it, I believe it's full throttle and full brake. So full throttle on the radio, which again, I can't do all this one-handed. Maybe I can. Hold on. Nope, that ain't gonna stay. Nope. I'm trying, guys. Okay, just bear with me. Full throttle. Hit the button. You heard the beep. So now it's full brake. Hit the button. So now it should be programmed. That should not be blinking anymore, which it's not. And then if I give it throttle, okay, it's backwards. So it's brake, full brake, and then full throttle. Again, so repeat, hit and hold the button, power it on, neutral, full brake. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get this so you can see. So full brake, full throttle, let off. So now if I hit the throttle, this should have went forward, but it's still going backwards. I'm confused. I'm confused now. Let's why is that? I'm confused. Interesting. Okay. First off, sensor wire's off. Hold on. Let's fix that. Man, this has got me all kinds of screwed up. Sensor wire comes up and over. This is a really weird ESC. I bought this to run sportsman class because it was a blinky ESC that it's 120 amps and it's 2S compatible and it's cheap. It's like $45. So it's not any of their high end. That's why it doesn't have a fan or anything on it. It is waterproof, I believe. It's been a great ESC. I don't have any other use for it. So let's try this again. Power on. Nope, I messed it. Power. Actually, you know what? Instead of guessing, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna look up the instructions. Hobby Wing ESC factory reset. So it's factory reset. Step 1 is full neutral, then it's full throttle, and then it's full brake. Yes. Yep. So I did it right, but let's do it again. One more time just to be safe. And then worst case is I'll change the settings in my radio. So power, hit and hold the button. Power on, leave it neutral. Full throttle, which is backwards. And full brake is forward. And it's still going backwards. And I mean, I'm barely touching the throttle. Barely. Hey, thanks, Jesse. Yeah, it's kind of Bigfoot themed. I've always loved Bigfoot too, but too many people run Bigfoot and monster trucks, and this is my brand, so that's why I want to put that on there. So it's kind of a, but it is Bigfoot themed. It's a Ford Raptor Bigfoot body, so it does really well. So let's change the reverse back to reverse. The world just happened. Ow. So changed radio so that way the okay. I mean, I have an idea what happened, but I'm trying to figure out why. Custom racing setup. So now the throttle is reversed on here. So it changed the endpoints of the ESC settings. So now I got to try to recalibrate this stupid thing again. So power, leave it on throttle, leave it alone, leave it in neutral. Uh-oh. It did not like that. Why? Oh, this thing is all kinds of screwy. When in doubt, reset it all. Change my steering back to normal. My throttle, I mean. Something. I need to change the polarity of the that's what it is. Need to change. Well, I know what happened. So there's a couple of different ways you can change how it drives. This ESC came out of my crawler originally, and then it got moved to the Sportsman, or it was in the Sportsman, got moved to the crawler, and then I changed the settings to make it reverse. So what I need to do now is pull out my programmer, which is this guy. I don't know if I even have. I don't even know where the cable is for this. It might be in my race box. Let me look. Or I can do it probably with, I don't know if I can do the wireless. Man, this thing wrecked my desk bad because obviously it decided to go rogue and do what it wanted to do. But basically I just need to change the settings so that, oops, this side. I think it's this one. But let's How do I want to do this? I don't think I can connect it. Let me go use the restroom real quick, guys. I gotta pee, like really bad. I'm trying to think how I want to fix this because I think I need to change the polarity of the direction on the ESC, not the radio, for the motor. But I don't remember if this is the one for this ESC or if this is not, or if I just want to use my wireless controller. I'm probably gonna try. I don't know if the wireless will connect to the quick runs. Anyhow, I gotta pee. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I don't know how I want to do this yet. Well, let's think this out. So here is, yeah, this ain't gonna work. Here's a Hobbywing just dock. The data port to connect my Wi-Fi module is right there. And you notice that's a 3-pin connector, positive, negative, and a data port. So this ESC does not have that. So I can't plug my wireless one in there even if I wanted to. So plan B, now I gotta go and download the manual for this. So this is the 10BL 120. Manual. And the reason why you need the manual is because I don't have the programming card to this, but I can change a bunch of settings. I'm looking. You can do it without a programming card. And you have to go by, let me see if anybody who's all still here. So you can do it without a programming card. And I'm going to try my best to show you. So this is you guys looking at yourself. I know it's strange. So I'm just getting you close. So you can do it by pressing the buttons on the ESC and watching and counting the green lights. And it'll tell you what mode you're in. So for example, this is forward with brake, forward with reverse with brake, or forward and reverse with no brake. You can change your drag force brakes to whatever percentage you want. You can change your low voltage cutoff on your battery packs. But if you have a programmer, you can change the modes by using the programmer. But the problem is, I don't see a mode that lets me change the direction of the battery or the direction of the motor. So that's a whole nother problem that I don't know how to fix, because now I'm stumped. So the car runs backwards when accelerating. The wire connection between the ESC and the motor needs to be changed. The ESC is not stable. What? Swap any two connectors between the ESC and the motor. Note the method is only stable for sensorless motors. Well, I plugged in the sensor, so why does it not? So is it saying that my A and C are backwards? Okay, that's strange, because blue is A, and that's clearly A, and the front is clearly A. The yellow is B, and that's clearly in B. Orange is C, which is the very back one, and that's clearly C back there. Now I'm even more complexed. Okay, let's try this. Let's try setting these endpoints one more time again, because I'm about to go off on something, because this is not being fun at all. Still in monster truck status mode on radio. Set it over here. Turn it on. Oh. Neutral. Full throttle. Brake. Now let's try to give it some throttle, and it's going backwards. And if I go in reverse, like try to put it in reverse, it doesn't want to go anywhere. So it's, I don't know what, I don't understand. Like, this thing's got so much power for days, it ain't even funny, but it's backwards. I don't know how to fix this problem now, because I think some ESCs you can change the polarity. This one doesn't let me do that. Okay, let's go back to troubleshooting. So in this case, the only way to troubleshoot this, as far as I'm aware of, is I have to disconnect the ESC from the receiver, plug this into my box, I think it's backwards. Nope. That ain't gonna work either. Why? Confused. But that's the programming card. There we go. So that's mode 1, value 1. So in this case, when I go to refer back to the manual, mode 1 is telling me the the running mode, and it's forward with brake. So I want forward reverse with brake. So I want to change this value to 2 and save it. So then I'm going to go to item. So now it's on 2. Value is 3, and this is drag brake. So drag brake is currently set at 10%. I'm going to leave it there. Item number 3 is low voltage cutoff, and that's currently set to number 3, which is 2.8 volts per cell. Kind of on the low side. I'm going to leave it. Option 4 is currently on number 2, and this is called punch. So it's basically how much it gives you throttle to kind of take off. Like, so oval racing, a lot of cars like a lot of punch. It helps you get off the corner quicker. Level 1 through 9, it's default to 7. It's currently on 2. Let's change this down to 1 and save it. Item number 5 is maximum drag brake force, and it's default to 75%. I'm going to change this down to 50, which will be option number 2. Save. Max reverse force is item number 6. It's default to 1, which is 25%. I'm going to leave it at that. Item number 7 is initial brake force. So default is on 2, which is 0%. I'm going to leave it on 0. Option number 8 is throttle range, which is narrow, normal, or wide. Option 2 is normal, and I'm going to leave it at normal. And then number 9 is timing, and it's currently set at an additional boost. It's basically boost. 0 degrees is default. I'm going to leave it at that. So those are the only 9 options I can change. So I cannot change the motor direction inside the settings on this ESE. So the only thing I could think of is rotating A and C, and does that have to do with the motor and the way the transmission's set up? I'm thinking out loud here. Is that what it's going to take to fix this problem? But how do I get it to run censored wire, like censored motors? Because you would think with it being censored that it would not run backwards unless I can change it. So it's 120 amps, censored or sensorless brushless motor. It's designed to hold up to a 4.5 turn off road. It's designed up to 3S. Censored wire moding. When using censored wire, please connect the sensor part of the ESC to the sensor part of the motor with the sense wire. The sensor wireless brush motor A, B, and C, and the ESC must be connected to the motor A, B, and C. Obviously, sensorless. When sensorless motors A, B, and C can be connected to the wireless in any order, the motor runs in the opposite. Wait a minute. So when using a sensorless brushless motor, the A, B, and C wires of the ESC can be connected with the motor wires freely without any order. If the motor runs in the opposite direction, please swap any two wire connections. Please disconnect the battery in the ESC after running the car. What? That makes 0 sense. It clearly states in the manual, and I'm not making this up. Like, I'm reading it word for word in the manual. Sensorless, but it's a censored motor. You would think it could change the direction because it's censored. Oh my god. I'm so confused. So confused. Oh, I think that's the solution. Is it's almost like it's functioning. Maybe it is. Maybe the sensor wire's not working. But this came out of a working car, so I know the sensor wire works. Just maybe the port doesn't work. I don't know. Let's turn this back off. Unplug this guy. Plug it back into this. Let's try it again. Okay. Does it not? Like now it don't want to do anything. What? I'm confused even more. Makes no sense to me. Did I plug that in backwards? Maybe. Telling you, this is a very one-off situation that I'm. So that's on now. No, because it's not communicating. Off. On. Off. Back on. Let me turn that back on, see if that lights up. And it doesn't, so that tells me that's backwards, like I thought it was originally. Plug that back in. Blue light's on. Okay, now it's functioning. It must have been a bad connection. That's the only option I can think of. Is we're gonna have to, because it's still going backwards. Is I'm gonna have to swap. Why? I don't get this. Like it's gonna force me to run this thing sensorless, and I don't want that. Off. Unplug. Unplug the sensor wire. Get it out of the way. Yep, that's what it's doing. It's running. The sensor wire's not. Oh God. Okay, well, let me play magical. How is that going to come? I got to pull that back out. This is great. Let's see if we can get you guys a little closer so you can watch what's going on. Maybe. Okay, there we go. I apologize that this seems like it's a random, like all over the place stream, but it kind of is because at this point my frustration is setting in because nothing is working correctly. Now I have to undo the motor But to undo the motor, I got to undo everything else that we already did on the previous stream. Even though it's wired correctly, I have to unwire it correctly. I have to wire it incorrectly to get it to run in the correct direction that it needs to go. Like, that makes no sense to me. And I'm assuming that has to do with the drivetrain and how this transmission's set up. Is Losi probably did something that's a little backwards. Not blaming Losi by any means, but it's just one of these. It's the only explanation I can come up with as to why it's doing what it's doing. I don't think that's going to fit. Nope. I need a 2.5. Where is my 2.5? Bueller. What in the world? Did I not get? Oh, the truck threw it over here. So now I need to confirm which way this is actually spinning before we get too far into this. Let me plug in because my soldering station got unplugged. I do not like doing this. I'm throwing that out there. I'm not happy. Because I feel like this is a bigger problem than what Hobbywing is claiming. But what do I know? I'm just an idiot. I need to turn the truck around so you guys can see. Get the body up out of the way. So I'm going to turn the truck back on real quick. I want to see which direction this motor spins. Because honestly, I don't know which way is forward and which way is reverse currently. The way that it sits. And the last thing I want to do is do a bunch of work, not verify it, put it back together, and then find out it's still backwards. So giving it throttle. Trying to figure out that direction. It's going too fast. Let me put the gear on it. Maybe I can see it with the gear better. Nope, 2 millimeter. I believe it's currently spinning towards me. I think it's going this way. So it said to swap any two, but it doesn't say which two. So I'm thinking of swapping A and C for A. Oops, about got ahead of myself. Let's turn off this guy, unplug the battery, and let's start my cleaning tip. off. Okay, radio, you gotta get out of my way. No, this is bad. There we go. Okay. Solder's ready. Soldering gun's up to temp. Clean it off. Preload your tip with some solder. This helps with the heat transfer, so you can desolder. Basically, it takes solder to desolder. It helps with the heat transfer. I'm about to change this ESC out. Honestly, I don't really have a good replacement that I think that can take the power that this motor is going to ask for. So that's one disconnected. Come on. You're so close. It's getting hot. That's that one. Trying to do this one-handed without a soldering station, like an actual extra set of hands, is not easy, might I add. So while I'm soldering, I'll talk about some racing stuff. Racing's been kind of interesting the past couple weeks. Took off last weekend, went to go visit family. Discovered I have some bladder problems, so medical issues on both me and the wife are hindering some of my abilities to race. I think I have everything under control. It's just going to take some time. Went the week before, got an altercation, and was accused of cheating and blocking. And I'm not happy about it. Still not. But I'm also a grown ass adult. I said my piece and walked away from the situation. I'm just not happy that people want to accuse me of doing something that I actually didn't do. So I was actually talking to the guy that was, and he was behind me. I didn't know what position he was in. I asked him if he was in first. He didn't respond. So I kept racing for like 5 more laps. He got caught up to me for enough that I knew that I was in his way. So I went high in a corner to let him go. And I went too high, got in the fluff, got sideways, and ended up hitting him on corner exit. He accused me of blocking. So, and he went to the race director after the race, bitched him out, basically demanding that I get kicked out because I'm blocking for the person that won the race. Like, how great! I'm was not a happy camper about that situation. And anybody that knows me personally knows that I take pride in my racing abilities and that I would never do such a thing. God, these joints are terrible, but I'm not fixing them. But my integrity, like I take pride in my abilities of racing and everything else. That, and the race director pretty much told him the same thing. It's that I've been there way too long. That I'm an honest guy, and just drop it. So I was happy to hear that he had my back, but my point is it should have never gotten to that point. So flipped C to A and A to C. So I'm going to turn this back on. This was turning towards me. So let's go ahead, turn this guy on, turn that on. Which way is this turning now? I can't tell. I believe that's reversed. Yeah, that feels reversed to me. So now let's slap this together. 2mm. This should have not taken anywhere near this long. What do you need to get, Dave? You need to get one what? Oh, that's done. Unplug, turn off, move that guy up out of the way. Flip this back around. Oh, 2.5mm. Where'd my 2.5 go? 2.5. Screw. That's that one. Don't want to go too crazy tight with that one yet. Oh, programmer. Honestly, you don't have to have a programmer. You really don't. You can do it by the buttons. If you don't plan on racing, you really don't need a programmer. The programmer becomes a convenience factor, so it allows you to make changes faster. So I use a programmer a lot when I race because I'm always changing settings around on an ESC. But you can change it by simply just pressing the buttons on the same button I've been using to program it. There's a way you can watch the light activity, and you can do the same thing like I did with the programmer. But instead of when it flashes, you have to figure out what mode it's in by the flash count, and then you have to count how many flashes it is. It's complicated. It's not easy. You'd only want to do it like once and never ever again. But you can do it, and you don't have to have a programmer. But these programming cards are cheap. They're like $15. So it becomes a convenience factor. So yes, buy one. If you're okay with blowing a little bit of money, hands down, buy one, be done with it. Buy once, cry once. That's my theory. Just like tools, buy quality tools if you can afford it. Honestly, some of the Amazon stuff's not been bad, but you got to be able to afford it first. I'm not saying go and spend a bunch of money if you can't physically afford it. Okay. Truck's back together. Motor's in. Everything is mounted. Motors, servos in. Turn this back on. There we go. So now we're going in the right direction. So problem solved. So we fixed the steering. Well, to an extent. So let's go back. I gotta put the side cover on the motor back on real fast. And then we'll talk about adjusting your steering next. Come on. This is fighting me. Nope. That ain't in. Oh. Got grease on my fingers. Really? Right there. Can't see it. This gear box has grease in it. I'm assuming that's a mod 1 issue. Again, I don't know nothing about this gear set. So this is all new to me. It's almost like I gotta come in from underneath it. Really? This does not need to be this complicated, guys. They put this bar right in the way. Like the screw and this bar are fighting for the same space. It's not going. Get in your hole. There it goes. And the bottom popped out. Of course it did. Why would you not go together normal? Let's go under this time. Nope. Not going to go together that way. And this screw is like twice the length it needs to be. And I feel like that's probably the bigger problem. Oh my God. Okay. This is not rocket science. And I swear. Yeah, that screw's way too long. It's just a cover. Here's how long this is. There's the replacement I'm putting in. Much shorter. Don't need to be that long. So that's how much is actually like sticking out. So look. It fits in like it's supposed to, and it don't hit the stupid bracket. I swear. Engineers. Oh, come on. What is it stuck on? There we go. Imagine trying to do that by hand. I don't feel like that grabbed. It didn't. Why? Why? Does this have to be so complicated? Now I know why that screw's so long. Good grief. Back to the super long screw. That makes no sense. They can't put threads on it like any other normal person would have. I don't remember fighting this bad. Like, how are you supposed to get to that? Imagine trying to do this by hand and not with an electric drill. This be about impossible. Nope. Still not in its hole. Wow. Come on. It's close. There it went. Man. It's a lot more complicated than it needs to be. All because this bracket lines perfectly with that screw. Okay. So, now that we've straightened out the electronics issue, we got it going in the correct direction. Now we need to talk about setting your steering endpoints. So, turn the truck back on. Turn your radio on. Check your steering, make sure it still functions. So what you're going to do is you need to set your endpoints to how far you can turn left and right. And basically you're going to turn, man, that's a lot of flex. But that's definitely more than strong enough of an ESC to run these tires, which I'm good about. I'm happy about. So what you need to do is we're going to talk about endpoints. So first things first, we're going to go back to our radio, and every radio is different, so you have to figure out where these are with yours. So I think it's custom. EPA, steering, left and right. So, for example, I want to change, let's start with steering left. I want to add more steering to the left. So what I'm going to do is turn my steering wheel left. So when you do that, you're going to watch the tire, and you're going to add more. So I'm adding more steering. See it? So that's not 10%. So let's go zero, like down. I want to turn steering left down. So right now it's down to like 50%. So if I turn left, it's only turning 50% of the time. But you can change this so that you can get more throw. You can get more throw going left and right. And I'm going to tell you to turn your steering until you get into a bind somewhere. So look for that drag link to make sure it's not hitting. You're going to watch the hubs, your knuckles, to make sure that nothing's hitting there. You're going to watch the tire to make sure the tire's not rubbing the chassis somewhere. You're going to go until you get to a point where you see a strain somewhere, and then back it off a couple clicks. So in this case, I'm up to, like right now it's at 100. So if I go, I'm trying to do this one-handed and show you, and it's not easy. Hold on. Uh-oh, I hit a button, and I don't know what I just did. Oh, well. Let me see if I can get you set up to watch. So block that there. There we go. So steering left. That's 100% throw. That's 100% throw left. I'm now up to 110. Check your left. Everything looks right. So now I'm going to go to the right, and I'm going to go to 110% to the right. Everything looks fine. Everything still seems to be kosher. Oh, why is this beeping? Okay, off, back on. So I'm up to 110 both left and right, and I still don't see any major strain anywhere. So let's go ahead and add. Let's go with 10 more. So now I'm up to 120 right. And I'm going to go left 110 more degrees. So now that's 120% steering left, 120% steering right. You can listen to the steering servo, and it's going to tell you when you get to that point where you are kind of hitting your limits. So let's go another 10%. So that's 130. And 10 more that way. I still don't see any. Nope. What are you doing? You getting a pop?
Yeah.
Still don't see nothing, so let's go another 10. So I'm at 140. 140. So I've gained 40. If you didn't do this, I just gained 40% steering left and right. And then for a monster truck, that's going to be huge. I still don't see any signs of this being oversteered. Oh, you fell again, Dave. You're like you're not being friendly over here with my wire. I know what it's doing. It's a USB cam, and it's the USB cable pulling on it. So, okay. Again, we're talking full lock to lock. I might be hitting a limit to the left. Let's try 10 more. That's 150 to the right. And that's 150 to the left. Okay. I'm going to call 150, I believe, too much. Because you can see this bar is now starting to flex. You can see the strain at the very end of this throw. But I'm good with that. I think I'm going to leave it at 150 lock to lock. I can turn this down later. So that's your endpoints. That is how you save your steering servos from getting completely destroyed, because a lot of people will not set their endpoints correctly. Oh. And what will happen is your endpoints will start hitting. Okay, there we go. So your endpoints will start hitting like the chassis, and you'll either break hub issues or you'll start. Usually it's servos, because you're overstressing the servo. You're putting too much pressure. It's trying to go farther, and your steering has limited itself, so it can't turn any farther. But yet the servo is saying, "I want to keep going," and that's usually how servos get stripped. From my experience. So electronically, we are 100% done. Motors correctly connected up in the right direction. We've got steering fully set up. I still have to trim it to go straight. I'm going to do that on an off stream. I'm not going to bore you with that. Electronics were golden. I still have the LED lights to put in. I'm not in a hurry to put those in yet. Those can come at a later date. I do want to pretty up the wiring and hard mount the electronics completely, put the ESC or the receiver in the receiver tray. I'm going to do that off camera. You guys don't need to see all of that. What else was there left to do? Oh, straps. So straps will mount to the side of the chassis somewhere. So in this case, let me figure out how to do this so you guys can see. I did buy the proper wheel nut removal tool. Maybe. Holy moly. Who's the idiot that put this on? AKA me. Jesus. Oh, still in there. Okay, that's fine. So take the wheel off. Set that aside. So these will typically strap behind the axle or behind the shock. They'll go down and mount right there through those two holes. And then you're going to mount the strap to the chassis. Let me move you guys a little closer. Hopefully that'll stay there. And then the other end mounts to the chassis somewhere. And you just got to find that limit of where your full droop is. So in this case, you'd pick this up, pull this down. That's max. Set this and find the hole like there, for example. Would be something like so. The problem with this is that's probably not the right height. So it may have to go up one. And that looks close. Screws and hardware. I don't believe 3 millimeters is the correct size for this. Yeah, it is. Okay, well, I was thinking it was 4, and I didn't buy the hardware. So I was thinking that I would run into an issue with all of this, but so far we're doing pretty good. So let me find some long screws and some nuts. I've got all kinds of hardware from kits and stuff that I built over the years. This whole area right here is full of screws. That's probably long enough. Nope. Something a little longer than that. That'll work. Let's find 2 of these. That'll work. And then a nylock nut on the back side. I need 2 of those. One, 2. There we go. Sorry you can't see because I'm slightly out of your range, but I've got my screws and my nuts, lock nuts, screws. I'm gonna start with the bottom. Run that through. Run that through the hole. Run that through the back. Put my lock nut on it. It's gonna be that guy and a 2 millimeter, which is that guy. Come on, truck. Work with me here. Oh, really? Really? I missed it. So, try this again. No, you can't see. Let's see if I can't move you a little closer from this angle over here. Oh, nope. That's bad. Stay. There we go. Yep, that's through. Put the lock nut on the back side. Then finding the right height. Again, pull up on the chassis, push down, find your maximum droop, and it's going to be one hole up. Yep. Actually, you know what? That's not a bad spot there either. Kind of like that spot better. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. I know you fell. I'm sorry. I think we found a better spot. So let me relocate you. Oh, this mount broke. Sorry, guys. It's amateur hour. I apologize. Yeah, I'm using the wheel to try to hold you. So there's a hole on the shock tower right here. That you could put it on the frame if you want. This is part of the frame too, but when I pulled down on this, I'm looking for a hole slightly above full droop, and the closest hole that I'm seeing is this one on the shock tower. So I need to find 2 more screws and 2 more lock nuts. No big deal. I have plenty of them. I just have to find them. I've got bags of stuff from kits that I built. So that's not an issue for me. The lock washers are a little harder to come by. And I'm calling lock washers. They're nylon nuts. Sorry, is what they are. So they don't back out. And also button head screws are what I'm looking for. And good thing with Associated, they only use a select full of, yeah, I'm using Associated stuff, I know. Funny. Well, that's all I have. Like, this is the only Losi car I even own. But the good thing about it is, man, getting a wrench in the inside, that's not going to be fun. I'm going to set this guy up. Oh, that ain't going to work either. Well, there's no easy way of doing this, not without taking that shock off. But where I'm working at is right there. Looking for some pliers. Don't have anything. Oh, that's not going to be easy. I need needle nose. Ask and you will receive. Had to go to the race box. So get this from the side. I hope I can get this from the top. Nope, not going to fit that way. So from the bottom we go. No, that's not going to be easy either. Nope. Nope. Man, there's just no room to get this in there and you guys to see and me being able to see all at the same time. Nope, that didn't work. Well, let's stand this guy up on the side, I guess. Try it from a different angle. I know you can't see. Sorry. There's just no easy way of doing this because the strap's in the way from the front, so I can't get it from the front. Oh gosh, this is a disaster. Oh, the screw's already on it. What am I doing? Oh, this is just not. Okay, I'm going to spend more time fighting this than it is just taking the stupid shock off at this point. So, shock's coming off. Flip it back over so you guys can see. I'm being lazy, I know. Because it should just be one long screw. See, that should just pop out, which it does. Hey, look at this. I can get my fingers in there now. Look at that. It's magic. Plenty of room. Voila! Throw the shock back on. Maybe. Come on. Come on. So we got to do this to all four corners, basically. Fun. No big deal. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I know you guys can't see. I'm trying. Just bear with me. There's just no way to fix this problem. Stay. If you can stay there and you don't move, then you're golden. There we go. So first things first, find all my hardware. Because you're sitting on it. That's all I can do is laugh at this point. Because if I don't laugh, I'm going to go insane. Because nothing wants to cooperate. I know I'm blocking your view. That's that. Take the top shock off. Stay. Don't move. Again, try and imagine doing that by hand. That'd take forever. Oh, you fell. Stay. Take the shop off. Set it to the side. I need my small screw and the lock washer. It's going to go through there on the front. Put the nylock nut on the back. Done. Shock back together. So there we go. Front pair is done. We're going to repeat the same process on the rear. Yeah. It's the exact same setup, but instead the rear, we're going to mount there and there. I need to get more screws because I only got enough for the front out. I did not grab any for the rear. It's an easy fix. I'll set this guy aside real fast. There's one. I keep actual screws and stuff separate as well in an organized container. These just happen to be convenient. I don't know if that's long enough. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's more than long enough. That one's probably too long. So we'll grab 2 long ones, 2 short ones. One, 2. It's not the right length. That's better. I need lock washers or nylon nuts, whatever you're gonna call them. I buy them in bulk because I sell kits. I buy them in bulk and give them out whenever I'm doing my oval kits that I sell. Usually you get a couple of these per kit. So I've got plenty of nylon nuts. 4. So that's the hardware for those limiters. I just need to find them and connect them. So let's start with this guy. Trying to do this so you guys can see a little closer, a little better. I don't know if that's any better for you or not, but that's through. That's that one. Take the top shock off. Should be enough to get that out. Pull that guy off. Run. Just bolt through it. Bolt through the hole. Needle nose. Perfect. I should have checked the droop. I assumed it was the same. Looks like it is. Oh, come on. Oh, being a pain in the butt. Come on. Really? Nope. That one's done. We are almost finished with this. You guys can't see. You need to yell at me when you can't see. Lung screw. I'm gonna have to move you for a second, guys. There we go. Screw. Strap. Screw. Lock nut. I can't reach it because everything's in the way. You guys just fell again. this is turning into a wonderful show. I can't reach it. Okay, this has got to get moved. That's better. At least I can see, you kind of see what's going on. Right now you're under the truck, but you're moving. Good. Take this top shock off. Last one. Through there. Where did my nut go? I just seen it. Right in front of me. Shock back in. Thread. That guy in. Oh no! Push the retaining nut out on the back side. That's not good. I mean, it's not complicated. It's just what I didn't expect to happen. That's all. Uh-oh. Did my thing die? Really? I think my electric drill driver just died on me. No! So close. I'll do it by hand. If I can get it to start. There we go. So there we go. What is up with my drill? Like, it's never boogered up this bad. Well, that's not good. May have wore this thing out. I've had it for probably 2 years. We gotta put the front wheel back on. I gotta find that. So I'm gonna put you back over here in the corner. The nut went flying somewhere back here because I heard it. There it is. Set this guy back up on the side. Nuts on. betting this needs charged. Okay. So we've got fully built. You know what? Let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and put the electronics away. We're here. 2.5 millimeter. Try to bring you guys a little closer now. And this box is impressive. Oh, really? They ran the screws, holes through the sides. So now I gotta undo everything. Which whatever, no big deal. I'm gonna feed these through the side holes in the box. Stay up. Trying to get it so you guys can watch. And you're like actually seeing what's going on, not just flopping all over the place. Electric. I need to go behind. And we'll go through that side as well. Keep falling. Stay. Channel 1. So these are labeled which channel that they are. So channel 1 is always steering. Channel 2 is always your speed controller. And then my splitter for the lights needs to get crammed through this hole. I'm trying to get them all through the same hole. There is a second hole in the box, but there's plenty of room for 3 to go through that hole. Oh, stay up. Stop being crazy. This does not really matter what channel you plug it into. It could be 3, 4 battery. It'll all work. But I'm trying to get it in 4. There we go. And that's going to have to fit in there on its back. Not really wild about that. I can put it. I'll do it so that makes more sense. Take a small piece of double-sided tape. I won't need much because the box is going to hold it predominantly. So peel off the tape. It's going to go on that side. That's going to go face down. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because if I need to see what's going on with the receiver, it's right here. The light is visible. So if I flipped it over, the light would be on the bottom. So if I ever needed to pop this open to troubleshoot something, I would have to pop that completely loose to monitor the lights. Okay, that camera does not want to stay sitting in the spot where I keep putting it. So we're just going to leave it where it is because you can still see. Okay, now you can't. Come on. Stay. Like, it's not rocket science. You're just wedged on the chassis. Just stay. No? Okay. There. That should stay. Why is that not starting? Ain't rocket science, people. The hole is there. It's clearly in it. And again, screws that are way too long. Okay, that one's in. That one's in and tight. That one's in and tight. So receivers mounted, motors mounted. That needs secured. I guess I can put a quick piece of new tape on this guy. While we're here, I'll just grab my X-Acto knife and trim off a small piece. Slap her on the backside. Peel off the tape. Maybe. There we go. I'm just going to put it right on top of the box. It's out of the way. No big deal. Last thing we got to do is lights. So the question is, where do we want to put the LED lights? I keep touring with the idea, but I think I'm going to run them along the top edge right here, all the way up to the front. I think it's going to look the best. I want the light to shoot down. Is my goal. I think that makes the most sense for running LED lights. Do you any of you have a different suggestion on running LED strip lights on a monster truck? You think running it along this edge all the way up to the top makes the most sense? Or would it make more sense to make some kind of plastic tray to mount it on the frame down here? Like here, to be exact. And make a bracket so that if I can get you to stay, I can show you. Stay. But if I can make a bracket, I'm afraid the bracket, like I could print something, but make it so it mounts like right here. The issue with this is I'd be afraid it would get broken, and then it really wouldn't look like ground lights. And then I have the problem where the wheel, like I don't know how to expose it from the tires and wheels. So I'm thinking the first option is the best, which is up here. So that's what we're going with since you guys aren't chatting. Start with the rear and work your way forward. I've got more than enough, so I think I'm going to start down at the bottom, all the way back at like the tailgate. Go up to the roof. on the front wheel. My goal is to keep this as hidden as possible, but yet make it as visible as possible. I don't want to see the lights from the outside at all. Whoops. So I'm pretty happy with that one. Let's go ahead and run the other one. Yeah, I know you can't see. I'm sorry. Only so much I can do. My fingers have to get in there and do their jobs. I think we're golden. I did that backwards. Oh well. Because now I have to. I'll show you. I didn't plan on this very well, apparently. I could fix it. I can make a jumper. Man, this mount is about done. So anytime I want to take the body off, I got to disconnect these. I can make a jumper and run the wires back to the back and down the body and come up the hinge and leave them plugged in 24/7. But because the harness is going to be right here, so I'd have to run them back. I don't know. I'll probably just leave them disconnecting up front. I need another small piece of double-sided sticky because I need to mount my power switch. And I need to think of a good spot for this. Stick. Because I don't think this tray is going to be a great spot. Because when I go to close this, no, that'll work. There's room. I thought the body was going to cover it, so. Let's go ahead and mount that guy up. That ain't gonna stick with the crap. What in the world is going on? Why? Alrighty then. Let's do the old heat trick. Because something is just not happy. Interesting.
Some root beer for me and Joe.
Okay.
Okay, I found it. Joe, do you want cream soda root beer?
What do you think, Ryan?
I want you to try it.
Really? Ew.
I'll get regular root beer.
This power switch does not like me today. There we go. Stay. So far, so good. So, let's close this up. I don't like these wires. It's a big no-no to me, but whatever. Hopefully these reach. Negative, negative, positive to positive. Negative, negative, positive to positive. I mean, wiring-wise, it don't look too bad. Let's turn off the lights, see what this thing looks like. Yeah, that's a problem. Hold on. Yeah, I know. Garage door opener, you turned on. Okay. Who's ready to see what this looks like? That don't look too bad. Now, the problem is the lighting, the coloring is off. And it's not as bright in person than this is coming out to be. This is a really green shade. Like, I'm actually happy with it though. Like, I'm telling you, it's nowhere near as bright as what this camera's making this out to be. Let me see if I can get this to focus and maybe change colors. No, it's not. What can I give you for reference? Okay. So, does that even work? Like the white's off is what it is. I agree. It looks good. So that is green. This is green. A little darker, not by a lot. Reference to the body, a little darker, not by a lot. I don't know if you can see the green under there, but the green, like you can see the color, the light. That almost looks like a blue tint. I'm telling you, it's green in person. It matches the truck color green almost spot on. Like, it's crazy. But to turn that back off just for reference. And that's the effect I was going for. I didn't want, like, oh my god, it's got LEDs in it and it's so bright it's glowing up the world, but I didn't want it so that you can't see it. So, like, even when the lights are on, So if you look inside the truck, you can still see the driver. Like, he's lit up. And that's what I was going for. But again, that almost looks like a blue color. I promise you, it's green. So, oh well. I'll try to get some pictures and post it somewhere. I just don't know where for you guys to be able to see it. It'll definitely be on my RC Cincinnati business page. I'll post some pictures of it there as well. So, you know what? Maybe I can trick my phone camera into getting you a better picture, and then I can show you the picture. Hold on. See, that still looks blue. How do I change the color? Options. Nope. More. Night mode. That's still not any better. More. Let's go to Pro mode. White balance. White balance is 4,300 kV, which is not right. Oh, that's getting there. Oh, it's the white balance is off. Because if I go to 10K on the white balance, it looks more like a neon greenish yellow. And then if I go too low, it turns into blue. Oh, well. Either way. I'm happy with it. That's all that matters. It does look good. I agree. It's gonna rip. I can already tell you that just because the motor that's in it. So, this thing is gonna be a blast. I can't wait. Can't wait to get it out and actually enjoy it some. So, and if it wasn't so freaking cold out, I'd open the garage door and turn the camera out that way and make a couple rips for you guys to watch. But that's not gonna happen today because it's too cold out. It decided to snow in Ohio in February. So, but yeah, so that's that. I think we're gonna wrap this video up. This truck is basically finished. Got to do some decal work to it still, but that's very minimal. I'm not gonna bore y'all with that. I may do another live stream on making some custom decals for it. I still need to cut this out because it's hitting the wheelie bar when I go to lift it. See, it hits right there. Yeah, thanks, Dave. I appreciate you coming out and chilling out and hanging out with me. You're like the only one that really hops in and says hi anymore. So I'm very grateful of that. And yeah, we're gonna wrap this one up. I appreciate everything you guys do, and hopefully you have a good one. Go check out the videos. I will still work on trying to get a really good picture of this with the right light, and we'll go from there. But for now, we're going to wrap this one up. Thanks, guys. Later.